Let's connect. Lights, camera, page, stories, every stage. Reels, reads, real talk of the show. Come on in, let's connect.
Hey there, this is Nalo. Welcome to Stewart Connects, Reels, Reads, and Real Talk. Today, we're doing Reels, and we're going to talk about the new movie from Blumhouse, Wolfman. Not to be confused by 2010's version of The Wolfman, starring Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro, and Emily Blunt. That was a good one. Or not to be confused by Wolf, 1994. That was Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. Also good. Check that out. And then if we go way back, definitely not to be confused by The Wolfman, the original. That was 1941, Lon Chaney Jr. I wasn't around back then because, I ain't that old. But I did see it, and it's worth seeing if you're interested in werewolves. But let's talk about Wolfman. So this is a story where you actually never see a wolf. I saw this the other day with my mom, who probably did see the original Wolfman. She didn't see it when it was in theaters because she ain't that old either. But that is what she uses as her reference for every Wolfman movie. This is not that. It's a pretty small cast. The movie really surrounds a man who goes back to a home where he was raised by his father until he took off because his father was just a little too tough, a little too weird. And the place is so isolated that he had to get away. So he returns upon hearing that his father has passed. It's been 30 years since he was there. And the movie starts with him as a child. You see a few things happen, then it springs forward to 30 years. So now he's got a wife, he's got a daughter, and he decides they're in New York, things are kind of crazy, and he says, why don't we go back to my home, to the home I was raised. My dad's gone. It's beautiful. It's not a place I want to live, but it's beautiful. So it's a nice time for us to get away because you also find that the two of them have been having issues within their marriage. And the young man we saw as a child, who's now an adult, is a stay-at-home dad. He's a journalist between jobs. She is a journalist, but she's currently working. So there's issues within the marriage. And so once you get started, it picks up. They head to this isolated area, wooded, where all good Wolfman movies are wooded. And things happen pretty quickly. When I say quickly, I mean they happen almost at a snail's pace, but once they get to his father's abandoned house, which you would think that it's abandoned, but there's a generator, so it still feels lived in. Almost as soon as they get there, things start happening, and I won't give away because this is not a spoiler video, so I won't give away what happens. I will just say once it gets moving, it moves quickly. My issue with it is there's never an explanation as to how the initial wolf attack happened, who got bit first, and do which again, if you are aware of the Wolfman lore, they turn usually when the moon is full. They turn and then they can turn back. The movie that I referenced a little earlier, Wolf, starring Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, it had a different take on that. So basically, once you turn into a wolf, you remain a wolf if you do it and the moon is high. And again, it's a movie worth seeing. I thought Jack Nicholson did a great job, and so did Michelle Pfeiffer and James Spader, for that matter. But this one, there's really no explanation. And as my mom said, kind of throughout the movie, there's no wolf. The makeup is pretty good. It is scary. It's got some pretty disgusting parts in it. But overall, it missed the mark on being a Wolfman movie. I wouldn't say rush out and see it in theaters. And by the time you see this video, it is undoubtedly not going to be at the theater. can't say how much longer it will be there, but I would say it is, you could wait for the streaming service. But if you have not a lot to do and you want to see a somewhat of a Wolfman movie, then check out Wolfman. I would give it 2.5, almost buttery, not super buttery, not really salty, but 2.5 buckets of popcorn. And that's just me, and those are my thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. Please like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next reel.